There are some events that will always be remembered. For the people of Puerto Rico, September 20th, 2017 will always be known as the day that Hurricane Maria unleashed its power and brought destruction that had not been known in living memory. Wind, rain, flooding, and storm surge caused catastrophic damage to the island's power grid, communications towers, agricultural crops, and poultry industry, and badly damaged sewage treatment plants, water supplies, and roads, in addition to thousands of homes and businesses. But for many people who survived Hurricane Maria, there's another name that will always be linked to that event, the name of Brethren Disaster Ministries, or BDM. The BDM ministry, she says, has been a channel of blessing to our community of Rio Prieto, as well as to Castañer, Yohueques, and all of Puerto Rico. I thank the Brethren Church, he says, for the assistance they have provided. Many people struggled to find resources to recover after Hurricane Maria.
The only hope that they got, some of them, it is the service, the assistance, and the support that BDM and the Brethren Church is doing for them.
Guided by District Executive Pastor Jose Calleja Otero, the Church of the Brethren hurricane response started within a few weeks of the storm, while much of the island still lay in ruins. Grants from the denomination's Emergency Disaster Fund helped the Puerto Rico District leadership assess and respond to needs within their communities through emergency relief, food, prepared meals, and assistance. A container with over $62,000 worth of canned chicken, emergency supplies, and tools was sent to the island. Emergency repairs were made to the Camito Church and guest house. And very quickly, the wheels were set in motion to develop a unique partnership between BDM and the Puerto Rico District to develop a new and special long-term rebuilding project.
The Puerto Rican church was just really an inspiring example of being the church in a crisis. BDM was just honored to be able to partner with them and to work with the district in this ministry to provide emergency response and assistance, really on a level that is not typical of how we have worked with other districts. This helped really to build our relationship to then go ahead and address future long-term needs.
The Puerto Rico Recovery Committee, with representation from across the district, was formed to review requests for assistance, gather information, and approve emergency disaster funds for rebuilding houses. BDM staff and outside consultants helped to train disaster case managers to work with the families needing assistance, while also providing a type of emotional and spiritual care. From mid-2018, a year after the hurricane, through June of 2020, volunteers from Brethren Disaster Ministries worked one house at a time to rebuild what had been torn apart by 155-mile-an-hour winds. This rebuilding project site was based at the Castañer Church of the Brethren in the mountains in the western part of Puerto Rico. This area has seen the work of the church before, when the first Brethren missions started in the 1940s, leading to the formation of the Iglesia de las Hermanas, or Church of the Brethren in Spanish, and the building of the first church on site. The volunteer project was led by long-term disaster project leader Carrie Miller, with construction assistants Carmela Rodriguez and Joel de Leon Feliz, a member of the Church of the Brethren in the Dominican Republic.
I think that the impact that this project has had on the people in this area is that they're able to see that there is a community of people mobilizing and responding to the need, and it's really been beautiful to see all the community members, not just from the church but from the entire community, mobilize and come together to help out with the houses, or even work alongside the volunteers.
There are houses that we have to do the complete house. There are houses that we only do the roof because what it was damages, just to help whatever is need to be fixed. Sometimes it's door, sometimes it's a window, sometimes it's the ceiling, sometimes it's the floor. So we have all kind of opportunity for them in order to help them.
For Judith Mercado, a member of the Rio Prieto congregation, the need was to replace her roof, which was ripped off by the hurricane, causing extensive damage to her house. Initially, she says, I was not aware of who they were. Then they explained to me, which made me feel so happy since I had lost everything. I am very grateful for the help. For Joel Arroyo, volunteers did major restoration work to his home. The roof flew away with the winds from the hurricane, he says, and we didn't have a place to live. During the 22 months of this project, nearly 400 volunteers from across the Church of the Brethren traveled to Puerto Rico to assist the effort, often forming a friendship with the hurricane survivors as they worked alongside them.
Being a part of Brethren Disaster Ministries is the biggest blessing in my life. The families we work with, the volunteers, the leadership, it's all just a wonderful blessing, and I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to be here to help others.
It's just something that we have to do, I think, and it's what Jesus asked us to do, just to serve other people and help them. The people here are beautiful. They are very welcoming, very accommodating, very generous.
The District Recovery Committee disaster case managers played a key role in connecting BDM with those most in need of the BDM rebuilding ministry. Pastor Carmen from the Rio Puerto congregation was one of the case managers that worked directly with families impacted by Hurricane Maria. Everyone who is a part of the project, I consider the presence of BDM, the Recovery Committee, and the volunteers, she says, and all these efforts as Jesus' hands and feet working here. More than 100 homes were completed through the project's efforts, either with volunteer labor, contractor work, or with materials provided to homeowners so they could make repairs on their own. The funding for construction materials came from the Emergency Disaster Fund and from a FEMA program called Voluntary Agencies Leading and Organizing Repair, or VALOR, that BDM was able to access and leverage on behalf of the families served.
Even when COVID-19 caused the early closing of the volunteer program due to travel restrictions, donations to the Emergency Disaster Fund allowed the work to be completed by supporting local contractors when they were able to do the work. Some homeowners were actually even able to finish their work during the time they were on lockdown with the materials that they had already had and provided by BDM, as well as support from our leaders that were in Puerto Rico.
And we have been trying to be quite creative, and BDM is giving some flexibility to us to find different ways how we could fix, help, support, and assist the survival that we have in their area.
A lot of times we notice that people have the misconception that you have to be brethren to receive the help that we are giving out, but once we started working and people started to see like, oh hey, they're helping everyone, so we got a lot more referrals, a lot more people approaching us, and what we do is we just refer them to the Puerto Rican Recovery Committee.
Brenda Acevedo was not connected to any Church of the Brethren congregation. This gift was something I was not expecting, she says. My house is now in very good condition, thanks to God and to the church. Ana Atalaza, the secretary for the Puerto Rico district of the Church of the Brethren, says offering help to the whole community made a valuable witness. I consider this a great opportunity, she says, to be known in areas in Puerto Rico that do not know who we are. We have always been a church that provides service to the community. Our church is one of service. The Church of the Brethren has long believed in responding to God's call to bear one another's burdens, to offer a cup of cold water in the name of Christ, to let people know that after storms with names like Maria come around, there will also be a people willing to help who go by the name of Brethren Disaster Ministries.
It's so satisfying to see a homeowner go through that whole transition. You know, you work with them in the beginning and they're distraught. They're showing you all the damage with their house, and then you see them to the end, to the house blessing, where they are even crying with gratitude, and they're just so thankful. And it's amazing to see that process, and I'm so lucky and fortunate that I get to see that process with each homeowner that we work with. And it's just been unbelievably, it's been hope incarnated is the best way I can describe it.